Oh, hello, I'm live. This probably looks terrible. It's an earthquake. Okay, I'll calm down now. I'm live. Ooh, who's already in the chat? Luke and Musical Aviator and Mega Leech. Hello to all of you. Musical Aviator, the worst coronavirus count per capita in a council area in Australia, Hume-Shire. Represent. Yes, there's a few areas of Melbourne that are a bit dodgy on the statistics in the last week. Just the teeniest warning signs that we could get more significant outbreaks and have to do more lockdown stuff, which would suck on so many levels. But it's not a done deal yet. They're little mini outbreaks of, tens and 20s might be contained and, all might be well. Or particular suburbs or council areas might get that lockdown order back to the, there's only 4 reasons you're allowed to be out of your house, giving the cops that power to fine people, which seem to go straight to their heads, honestly. Look, South Australia's going to open to everyone but Victorians. Out of spite for what Dan Andrews said. Actually, you know what? It's actually completely fair. There is just the teeniest, tiniest signs that we might have a problem. Action seems to be being taken quite swiftly, and the powers that be are trying very hard to communicate the message of what you should and shouldn't be doing. Let's see if it gets through to people, because, I don't know, people are fucking thick, quite honestly. There's no telling some people. There's just no telling them. So we shall have to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I still think it's bizarre, darkly humorous that we in Australia are freaking out about a handful of cases. And meanwhile, in the US, let's see if I can find the most recent day figures were. Okay, the numbers being reported in the US seem quite erratic. Like, according to this report, for today or yesterday, there were 297 deaths reported. The day before, there were 630. Yeah, it's we're still in this weird thing of not knowing exactly what's going to happen. I mean, it looks like something bad's going to happen, but we don't know for sure. PBA, I think Bruce Campbell's finest work is Bubba Hotep. He has done some interesting stuff over the years. And hello to you too, Charlie. Nice to see everyone rolling in. Yeah. Have there been any bad stories about Bruce Campbell? It's just like with the entire entertainment industry is so shit. But Charlie going to cosplay Kelly from Ash versus Evil Dead. I have to keep watching that. I've watched Yeah. I've watched a few episodes of that. I haven't been watching much of anything lately, but I did enjoy it because it's got that old silly spirit of the Evil Dead films that were just very silly. And hello, Invisible Chicken. Particularly the third one, which was called, oh god, my brain's blanking. It wasn't called Evil Dead 3. It's where Ash went back in time to a medieval world that was under attack by the Deadites. Army of Darkness. Luke, do I get hate mail posted to you? Not for a while. I have in the past. I have not had any for a while. Occasionally, I get messages online from Celtic King who says, "Hey, Video Dude's supposed to be getting out of jail. Says he's still really angry at you. He's going to write you more hate mail." It's just like, that dude needs to get a little bit of professional help because he just gets himself in trouble. Hello, Kirsten. Good evening. How are you? So look, I have not had hate mail. I barely even get hate comments anymore. Just the occasional Count Dankula Nazi sympathizer. And yeah, God, when was the last time I had to kick a troll out of here? It hardly ever happens anymore. Yes, speaking of time travel, PBR, new Bill and Ted movie coming out. That will be. Oh, Charlie, you remember the Bearing saga? Oh, that sad little boy is so obsessed with me. It's pretty funny, but yeah, I just found it genuinely weird that he was so obsessed with me. Like, okay, fella, cool. I mean, you might want to move on with your life sometime, anytime. Jesus, fucking weird people, honestly. The new Bill and Ted movie, I'm kind of interested. Is it going to be good, bad, indifferent? It might be very good. It might be very bad. I almost feel like the worst outcome for the Bill and Ted movie would be if it's just meh, if it polarizes people. That's something like if some people really hate it and there's still some people who like it, that's better than everyone just sort of going, yeah, it was there, they released it, it was the thing. Maybe it'll be good. Who knows? Peter, what's the best Bruce Campbell movie and why is it Evil Dead 2? It is a very long time since I watched the Evil Dead movies. The only one that gets re-screened is Army of Darkness, which I do like. They upped the camp factor heaps in Army of Darkness, which I don't mind at all. I saw a really good interview with Sam Raimi in the 90s. Jonathan Ross, who's, become famous as a talk show host in the UK. He's been doing stuff for ages. Back in the 90s, he had a show called The Incredibly Strange Film Show, where he found cult filmmakers and interviewed them and talked about their stuff. And he interviewed Sam Raimi, and at this point, all Sam Raimi had done was the Evil Dead films. Like, he hadn't mainstreamed, he hadn't done Spider-Man or anything. Oh, and there wasn't just the Evil Dead. There was that one other film, and I forget the name of it. It's a very weird one that Sam Raimi did. But anyway, so the interview was almost all about Army of Darkness, and I learned a bunch of interesting things. Like he raised his shoestring budget from private investigators, just people his family knew, like, professionals who had a bit of money, dentists and lawyers and whatnot, and got them to invest enough money for him to make the film. And he sold them all on a horror film. And then they saw it. And this was the original Evil Dead. And they were kind of mad because they said, that's a comedy. That's not a horror film. And he goes, no, 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 no. Trust me, it's a horror film. There's some, comedy in it. And it was like, such a low budget film. So the fact that it was moderately successful meant it was a good financial investment for all these people. We had a few interesting things in that one. Evil Dead 2, again, so long since I watched it, and I don't know how off base I am with this observation. But I feel like Evil Dead 2 was just kind of an extension of Evil Dead 1, where he's going, I just thought of a bunch of stuff I would have really liked to have done in the first Evil Dead, and so I'm just going to keep going and do the stuff I wanted to do in the first one. So, whereas Army of Darkness was quite different. But yes, the silly stuff's fun. Charlie, you ain't like horror when it's funny. I'm never really. Horror's not my genre. I'm never really scared by horror films. The closest thing to a horror movie that I've really actively liked in forever is Get Out, Jordan Peele's film. I've watched some, and the people go, "No, this is good," like Hereditary, and Hereditary was well made, and there's some interesting fucked up stuff in it. Certainly no humor, but I don't know, just didn't do it. Horror films almost never do it for me. I'm not scared by them, so there has to be something beyond, because actually good horror films tend to be social commentary. Like notoriously Romero's zombie movies, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, then Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, those were all social commentary films about consumerist culture, basically. Actually, Night of the Living Dead was pretty much about racism in America, but the latter ones were a lot about the deadening effect of consumerist culture in America. And again, they didn't scare me, but there's good stuff. And I mean, even in some of the later Romero Dead films that don't get a lot of love, there's been some good stuff in them. Luke, the Paranormal Activity films are kind of dumb. Okay, Peter, I'm glad you reinforced that for me, because my vague memory was that Evil Dead 2 is kind of a remake of the first one. And I wasn't sure if I was remembering that wrong. PBR, on a lot of levels, Jaws was a horror film. A lot of levels, Jaws is a monster film. It's an exceptionally well-made film. It's a great film. It's a groundbreaking film. There was so much in Jaws that was groundbreaking. I am quite a fan of Jaws. I quite like it. Peter, you think horror has to be horrifying, doesn't have to scare? It is definitely, it's a taste thing. It's a taste thing. And I just don't think horror is my thing. Like, even, I get people who rave about I suppose the more people rave about horror films that end up not really doing it for me, the more negatively I feel to them. Like, I think the Hellraiser films are pretty fucking ordinary. Like, there's a really good concept in them, and the Cenobites are a visual treat. The Cenobites are just fantastic as just horrible, creepy monsters. But I've always found the execution of those Hellraiser films to be really lacking. So much potential and so little delivery, basically. Oh, that's an interesting bit of trivia, PBR. Spielberg was forced to make the movie more of a sort of Hitchcock thriller because of problems with the mechanical shark, which I think was called Bruce, affectionately. And yeah, the first big reveal of the shark is 3/4 of the way through the movie, where Brody's chumming the water. They're making him throw fish guts into the water, and it's really gross and disgusting. And he's like throwing it over his shoulder, muttering, fucking chum the thing. And then the shark just comes up behind him. He's not really looking at it. And he goes, "Who?" And that's the famous line, "You're going to need a bigger boat." So everyone argues it's either you're going to need a bigger boat or we're going to need a bigger boat. But yes, it's a really good line when he's just chumming the water, complaining, and this fucking massive shark, and he finally sees it face to face, and all he can say is, "Gonna need a bigger boat." And they did. They needed a bigger boat, but they didn't have one, and that's why it all went kind of wrong. Charlie, the scariest film to you as a kid was Communion. Don't think I saw that one. Scariest film to me as a kid was probably Scariest film I was allowed to see was probably Poltergeist. I thought that was. I still think Poltergeist is fucking. I'd love to watch it again, actually, to see how shitty the effects are, because the effects are probably really. Oh, okay, Communion. That's the Whitley Strieber one. He's the one who popularized the idea of the grey aliens, right? Because, yeah, he was a sci-fi writer who then tried to sell these stories of alien encounters as true stories. Okay, Megaleech, that's the line. The real line. That's what I thought. I thought the real line was, "You're going to need a bigger boat," because he says that to oh God, what's the crusty old captain's name? He says it to him, and a lot of people misremember it as, "We're going to need a bigger boat." I always like, who remembers Kevin Smith's first film, Clerks? If it's Australia, I'd say Clarks, but it's an American film, so he gets to say Clerks because it's his film. He's American. Same as ZZ Top. I don't call ZZ Top ZZ Top, but I'll always say Z. But they're Americans. They're allowed to call themselves ZZ Top. He's allowed to say Clerks instead of Clarks. But yeah, Clarks, the one with the guy in the video shop, it's just one of the random bits he does. He's got a jar of salsa and some corn chips, and he's running corn chip around like it's a shark fin, going dun 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 dun. And he goes, "Salsa shark, gonna need a bigger boat." Silly. Charlie, The Simpsons X-Files crossover where Mr. Burns looked like an alien. That fucked you up. The Simpsons X-Files crossover was pretty good. That was funny. I really liked that episode. PBR Trilogy of Terror, Frighten the Pants Off You. 3 stories. Third one with Karen Black and a voodoo doll. I vaguely remember there was a few of those. What would you call them? Anthology films? Trilogy of Terror, Creep Show, Twilight Zone, the movie, where there was like 3 short films put together. I remember thinking Creepshow was pretty good. Again, not frightening so much, but I really like the stories. And even the Twilight Zone, the movie, I found entertaining. I loved the little bit with Dan Aykroyd. Like there was a lead in at the start where I don't remember if he was a hitchhiker who'd been picked up or if they were friends. And they were driving and they were trying to scare each other, remembering stories about the Twilight Zone and Outer Limits. And the guy's driving says, "You want to see something really scary?" They're driving on a unlit country road at night. And he just switches off the headlights. He goes, "Oh no, stones broke our headlights. We're flying blind. Where's the road?" And Dan Aykroyd, as the passenger, gets freaked out and says, "No, stop it. I don't like it. Don't, no." And the guy turns the lights, "Oh, no need to be a big baby or something. I was just trying to have a scare." And they're like pulled over because I think he loses control. They're pulled over, and Dan Murphy goes, Dan Aykroyd says, "You want to see something really scary?" and turns into a monster and attacks him. And then he's in the bit right at the end because they recreated terror at 50,000 feet. And the guy who saw the gremlin ripping apart the plane is getting carted off the plane, strapped down to a trolley because everyone thinks he's insane. And he gets in the trolley in the back of the ambulance, and he's going, "I'm a hero, I'm a hero." And the driver of the ambulance turns around and says, "I hear you had a bit of a scare." And it's Dan Aykroyd. He goes, "You want to see something really scary?" Which I thought that was a great way to end it. Oh, God, Pete, you watched Surf Nazis Must Die recently. Yes, it wasn't that great. I was really into the Troma films. They were most famous for the Toxic Avenger. And yeah, Surf Nazis Must Die, I agree. I saw it back in the day, kind of missed the mark. Yes, Luke, that's harsh but fair. Melbourne's like, "Now I'm back to normal. I don't bring you peace and love. I bring you fear, famine, pestilence." Yeah, it's not good. Oh, Mr. Burns. I thought you were saying Melbourne. Yeah, no, I thought you were saying Melbourne was Mr. Burns. Both work, in my opinion. BBR, one of your favorite actresses, Vic Morrow's daughter, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Yes, Vic Morrow got killed in the Twilight Zone movie, as did two young Vietnamese actors. Vic Morrow was famous for a TV show, which I think was made in Australia, called Combat, although I'm not sure. Charlie, Inside Number 9 is a good show. Okay, maybe by the same guy who did League of Gentlemen and Psychoville. Oh, okay. Just a very long list of things that I've got to watch sometime. Who knows? I might have time next week. My contract finishes this week and it's supposedly getting renewed, but no one's done the paperwork. So I might get to the end of the week and not have a job. Ace. I don't give a shit. I actually wouldn't mind a bit of a break. But hey, if the contract gets extended, easy money. Well, actually, it's very specialized work that I've spent a lot of time to get to where I am. But apparently I'm pretty good at it. So there you go. But yes, it would be comparatively easy money, because it's playing to my strengths. Invisible Chicken, you don't watch much horror, but you do enjoy the horror podcasts, the Magus Archives. Episodic story, really good. I've not got into any story podcasts. I listen to sort of commentary and entertainment podcasts, the Blind Boy podcast and Behind the Bastards, and one I found not that long ago, but has been around for ages, is called The Rewatchables. These dudes who are just mad film nerds spend like an hour or two dissecting films that they really like and they like watching over and over. And so they really just go on these big nerdy tears. Stella, good evening. But yeah, I know there's a few like narrative and story podcasts. It's not something I've got into. Also, not into true crime. There's something that just rubs me the wrong way about true crime podcasts. It's just something a bit icky about delving into true crime like that. It's just me. I know there's a very popular genre, and no judgment on anyone who does like true crime podcasts. It just doesn't quite sit right with me. It's also why I rarely make videos about news stories that involve deaths, because I don't want to be seen to be either trying to cash in on that level of misfortune or make light of that level of misfortune. But that's just me. It's just me. So, yeah. What else have I been listening to? A lot of sort of news, current affairs, commentary podcasts. I have not been listening to that many of them lately, but yeah. What are they? Politics, pop culture, politics, pop culture, investigative, I don't know how to describe Behind the Bastards. It's not really politics. It's a investigative journalism into bad people. Blind Boy's just entertainment, and he's like politics and entertainment and politics and politics and politics and yeah, that's just me. Try and mix it up a bit. PBR no, I did not check out Tucker Budzin. I'm really gonna quickly look that up. The doggy video. Tucker Carlson saying globalist. Tucker Budzin. Oh, that's cute. Leaving my dog alone with a whole chicken. My dog tries to get in the tub with me. What waking up to my dog looks like. Dog food reviews. Dog refuse food with wife. Dog pranks me into getting what he wants. Throwing my dog at pool party. And these all got millions of views. People love no, Invisible Chicken. I don't listen to Pod Save America because they're fucking establishment Democrats, and establishment Democrats shit me. Yes. That's my possibly unnecessarily aggressive answer to your question. The people who are the Democrat establishment shit me in the US, quite honestly. Don't have time for them at all. It's just really, really not something that I like. I think radical change is required in the Democratic Party because they suck. Get back to these pineapple cocktails because it's Pineapple Day later in the week, and I want to do some pineapple cocktails for my cocktail channel. Peter, been meaning to listen to the Curtain podcast. Starts about a specific murder trial in Queensland, largely about justice system and Australian racism. Yep, well, the justice system in Australia is very tightly tied up with racism, quite frankly. So that's the thing. Decide on pineapple drinks. Pineapple jalapeno margarita, pineapple vanilla mojito, grilled pineapple mojito, pineapple mint caipirinha, pineapple upside down cake. Well, you gotta love that, a pineapple upside down cake. How do you make that? Vanilla vodka, pineapple juice, and grenadine. Okay, that barely qualifies as a cocktail. Okay, here's what I want. 11 absolutely mouth-watering pineapple recipes. I have something a little bit different. 29 palms. Pineapple-infused mezcal, green chartreuse, lime, and lemongrass cinchona tonic. Oh, this isn't recipes. This is just talking about bars, which, is cool, but I actually want recipes. What's a K-Town sidecar? Sidecar is one of my favorites. So that's cognac, Giffard creme de peach liqueur? Creme de pêche. No, it seems to me to be... That would be a peach liqueur from that name, one assumes. Creme de fruits made from an infusion of vineyard peaches. Don't really like peach as a flavor. I don't like peach. Actually, I don't mind peach as a fruit, but I don't really like peach as a... Luke, will I push pineapples or shake the tree? Charlie, pineapples aren't in season, but pineapple juice is always available. And you can always get pineapples because of globalism. What was that? That was Agadoo. That's right. Push pineapple, shake the tree. Agadoo. One of my favorite Max Headroom jokes. I don't know anyone remembers Max Headroom. It was originally I think it was a made-for-TV movie from the UK, set 20 minutes into the future. It was very cool. There's basically this dystopian future type thing, and the news is done by the journalists who go out in the field. They're their own camera person, and this lead character uncovers corruption in the most powerful company in this city, and he gets out with the information, but they've got some little a kid who's like their computer nerd hacking systems to try and stop him. And I think he's on a motorcycle and he's trying to get out of the car park, and the kid manages to lower the boom gate, so he smashes his head into it on the way out. And the boom on the head gate said max headroom 2.3 m, as in 2.3 meters. And it doesn't quite kill him. And when they're like doing brain scans on him, trying to find out his memory, they create this virtual version of him that takes on the name Max Headroom. And there were all these permutations of Max Headroom. It was on MTV, had his own music video show. I really quite enjoyed the videos they used to play on his music video. That's it. Matt Frewer was the actor. And they pretended he was computer generated, but it was actually plastic prosthetics. Which was pretty goddamn clever, because that made Max look fake, but much, much better quality than computer graphics could be at the time. So yeah, it was originally on shorts on MTV, and then there was a British-made movie, And then it was like I think there were two different shows, but I quite liked his links between videos for the Max Headroom show. It was a lot of fun. I now actually forget why I even brought Max Headroom up. Oh well. Oh right, Peter, you know about Max Headroom because of the Signal Jack video. Yes, Doctor Who episode that got interrupted. That's I still think no one's been pinned for that. Someone hacked an American TV signal and broadcast their version of Max Headroom. Chicago, Illinois, November 22nd, 1987. Broadcasts were interrupted by a video of an unknown person wearing a Max Headroom mask and costume, accompanied by distorted audio. The first incident took place for 25 seconds during sports segment. Second occurred about 2 hours later for about 90 seconds during a Doctor Who broadcast. But I really liked the Max Headroom show with the music videos. Because he used to play good music, basically, and some of the linking bits I found very funny. Then he did a single with The Art of Noise, and of course, inevitably did advertising. I think did Coke ads. That you do. Oh, there you go, PBR. There's a lag between when you type a comment and I see it. So apparently, at about the time I was mentioning The Art of Noise, you were typing the question, do you remember The Art of Noise Max Headroom video, Paranoia? Yes. I quite like The Art of Noise too, actually. They were suitably weird. I think the origin of that name, that's from the Futurist Manifesto, from like about the 1920s or thereabouts. The guy wrote a manifesto called The Art of Noise. But yes, The Art of Noise were a weird sort of artsy 80s post-punk new wave thing, making sounds in their tracks with all sorts of things like power tools and whatnot. Although the Max Headroom Paranoia track was much slicker than a lot of the stuff they're famous for, was much later in their career. Just one of those things. I suppose I'd say weird things used to happen. Weird things still happen. But yes. Trying to think when. Oh yeah, and Eminem's video for Rap God, he's basically playing Max Headroom in that as well. So yes. It's the whole thing. All right, I was just looking at when Art of Noise actually started up in 1983. Yes. Part of the weird new wave post-punk stuff. Yes, PBR, Art of Noise did do a Peter Gunn cover as well. That very famous when was the last time there was a truly memorable sort of soundtrack or theme, like stuff where, typically, like we were talking about Jaws before, you only have to do dun and people know you're doing the Jaws thing. And Star Wars has both the Star Wars main theme that everyone recognizes and Darth Vader's theme, the Imperial March. Like, yeah, you can use that as code if someone's walking and you go da 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 da. They're a bad guy. Maybe okay, yeah, but Indiana Jones is fucking 70s or early 80s. Da 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 da. So that's my challenge to you. What's the most recent, like, truly memorable? I'm thinking movie themes, really. Theme music that people will instantly recognize, and I mean to the extent of the Star Wars theme, the Jaws music, the James Bond theme. Not just like, oh, this was a soundtrack I liked, but one that Stella, I think Jurassic Park just barely qualifies because it's not even that good. But it's also 80s again. That's ages ago. The original Jurassic Park was in the 80s, wasn't it? Kirsten, from a TV show, definitely Game of Thrones. And that's one I think is actually really good theme music. And I think a lot of people would recognize that Game of Thrones. I was actually, I was a big fan of the Game of Thrones theme and the visuals for the opening credits, and most of the show prior to the last season too. Astonishing how badly they fucked up the last season. Lord of the Rings. I don't even know what the Lord of the Rings theme is. One of my favorite movies. No, Stella, I do not remember the techno rave remix of the Jurassic Park theme. Don't think Harry Potter really counts. Kind of, almost. It's just such a pissy theme. It's just not stirring. And okay, first Jurassic Park movie was 1993, still nearly 30 years ago. And I can't even think what the Pirates of the Caribbean theme is. I don't think I actually did see the last one or two Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But yeah, I can't even think of what the Pirates of the Caribbean theme music is. Hey Lee, how's it going? Charlie, yes, the Flash Gordon theme, the Queen music was pretty good for Flash Gordon. That was such a cheesy film. It's hilarious. I saw an ad on YouTube. They were re-releasing Flash Gordon in whatever the latest ultra high definition actually is for the home market. And the trailer on YouTube was in 4K or possibly higher. So it was very high definition. So I watched the trailer in high definition, and it was hilarious how bad the effects were. And HD just really brought out how bad the effects were. Like, they were just super exceptionally bad. And I was just thinking, I'm just imagining someone with one of those fucking massive TVs with 1 million pixels per square millimeter and the highest definition disc of Flash Gordon and watching it and just marveling at how shithouse it looks, because it would look shithouse. It would look very bad. Hang on there, Kirsten. The Pirates of the Caribbean theme gives you PTSD because you worked in a theme park for a summer. Ooh, Charlie, you actually met Sam Jones. Got his autograph on your TVT. Nice. I see. Okay, Megalich saying the girl with the dragon tattoo, immigrant song, Trent Reznor is. I've seen that movie, and I know what the immigrant song is, and I know who Trent Reznor is. Don't remember it at all. So I'm not talking about good music. I'm talking about stuff that people instantly recognize from just a few bars. Oh, Charlie, the Flash Gordon movie is fantastic. It's just supremely funny how bad the effects are. Because they're spectacularly bad. And it wasn't the theme, but the way Taika Waititi used the immigrant song in Thor Ragnarok was really fucking good. Really. But Invisible Chicken, James Bond is the sort of thing I'm thinking of, but that goes back to the 60s. But that's the level of thing that I mean, that people instantly know it. Just a dun 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 dun. It's like James Bond. And again, okay, Megalich, the Avengers film, huge films. I've seen all of them. I have no idea what the Avengers theme is. I can't think of what it is. So it's just that they come along so rarely. Like, again, but I'm suddenly thinking of another one from the 70s, like the Godfather theme. I can think of lots of movie music and stuff. And again, music is kind of cheating. It's like actually a score for the film is what I'm thinking, like a main theme. But it would be like the original Suspiria music done by a prog rock band. Yeah, well, Suspiria is friggin' weird. Weird bloody 70s pseudo porn. Yeah, Lee, 2001: A Space Odyssey would be one, basically with that da da da. Again, from the 60s. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but that might have actually been a piece of classical music that they just used for the film rather than it being composed for the film. I still think that counts, though. Well, yeah, but only Star Wars nerds know Duel of the Fates. I know what it is because I'm a Star Wars nerd. But even non-Star Wars nerds know the Star Wars main theme and Darth Vader's theme. Peter, the Inception stuff is weird because that's, again, someone who knows better than me, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. That's that non reggaeton played at slower and slower speeds, isn't it? That's the central thing about when they go into the layers of dreams, everything goes slower and slower, and so the same music gets slowed to the point it's unrecognizable in the deeper levels. Yes, both the sound and visual design of Inception's pretty amazing. Of course, now we get to see his latest weirdness soon, Tenet. Yes, that's it, Charlie. Edith Piaf. Rather legendary figure of the 20th century. But yes, we get to see Nolan's latest weirdness soon. Very interested to see what Tenet is like, because you so rarely get completely original concepts in movies now. They're all remakes or franchise or sequels or whatever. Annette, hello and good evening to you. I love the way these conversations bounce all over the place and just kind of like, how speaking of songs like being Talking Heads, well, how did I get here? What's this one? Gotta love a drink named A Lonely Island Lost in the Middle of a Foggy Sea. Is it 3 kinds of rum, pineapple juice, lime juice, demerara syrup, coffee? Ew, gross. Fuck off with coffee. I hate coffee so much. Or a tequila mezcal cocktail called Ready, Fire, Aim. So 1 3/4 Oz mezcal, 1 Oz honey pineapple syrup, 3/4 Oz pineapple juice, half Oz lime juice, 3 dashes habanero shrub. I love it when they give cocktails funny names. Ooh, a Nicaraguan twilight. What's in a Nicaraguan twilight? Rum, creme de violette, maraschino, pineapple, lime. Ooh, it looks like they layer it. Add all the ingredients and lime juice, shake, fine strain, and then garnish. That's weird because the picture is layered, but he says shake it. It doesn't make any sense at all. What's with that picture? That says I've got a tiny bit of creme de violette left. They specify flor de cana rum. Just go with the rum I have, I think. I don't know. Got to come up with some pineapple drinks. Stella, I think the Terminator theme would just about count. But again, that's like 90s, isn't it? Original Terminator theme is like 90s. Well, thanks, Lee. I try to make the streams intelligent. These are widely varied. Peter, Kenny Omega is a wrestler who used to use the Terminator theme. Fair. Yeah, that really percussive sort of tubular bells sound in the Terminator theme I quite like. Don't know that it's as epic as some of the all-time epic ones, but again, it's from the 90s. It's so rare that one comes out that just really sticks in people's heads, so that people really broadly recognize it straight away. A brandy fix. I could make this very Oz. Cognac, just swap it out for Aussie brandy. Pineapple juice, lemon juice, sugar syrup. And instead of yellow chartreuse, use Ochre Gold. Could do that. A club cocktail, cognac, maraschino, pineapple juice, and bitters. An El Presidente rum. Pineapple. So here's the thing: you say pineapple drink, rum's the thing that immediately comes to mind, because I think I'm definitely going to have to do this Gumbai Smash, overproof rum, orange curacao. They say triple sec. I've got orange curacao, coconut rum, pineapple juice, and lime juice. Mary Pickford is rum, pineapple soda. Okay, make one more throw. I'm going to have something that's not rum, something that's a bit more surprising. Rum, they're all rum. Pineapple cardamom. There's vodka. I don't really have cardamom sitting around. Pineapple mint caipirinha. Cachaça with lime, caster sugar. So it's a caipirinha with pineapple juice. Pineapple daiquiri, which is rum. Pineapple martinis, vodka and pineapple. Pine cone. Pisco. Mead. I don't have mead. and vanilla liqueur. I could substitute liquor 43. Pisco punch. Pisco pineapple orange juice. See, Pisco's basically brandy. It's Peruvian brandy. You're going to get them straight. Like cachaça is Brazilian rum. Well, it's a cousin of rum. And Pisco is Peruvian brandy. Pyramid punch. Pisco and elderflower and pineapple and pink grapefruit juice. Well, that's different. A salty bird. A Susie cocktail. Pisco, gentian, pineapple juice, white wine, and sugar syrup. Gross. I'm not putting wine in a cocktail. Just people ask you, are you a snob about anything? I don't know. When I see wine in a cocktail, I'm like, what the fuck? She says pretty aggressive. Timothy, a drink called a cunt. So much alcohol, you can only have one. Tastes like shit, make your head hurt if you call the drink a cunt. Well, I did make a drink, my signature drink I call the Shut the Fuck Up, which was just all my overproof spirits. And it actually tasted okay. But you would not want to drink a lot of them because they were all overproof. Lee, you dreamt your distant cousin JFK was in WWE. It was not funny. Dreams are weird. Although there was a funny bit in your dream where JFK beat the living daylights out of Trump. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. PBR, you're still spewing Vince McMahon didn't win the hair versus hair match against Trump. Oh, dear. Charlie, what about fortified wines? Yes. See, that's what I was thinking. Yes, look, I did make a Shut the Fuck Up cocktail. Put it on my cocktail channel. I think I made it during one of the live streams. I'm not sure. So, okay, yeah, how I would change this one. Okay, so where is it? A Susie, which is a cute name for a cocktail. So it says use 1.5 shots Pisco, 1/3 of a shot Gentian, 1.25 shot pineapple juice, 1/2 shot Sauvignon Blanc, 1/3 of a shot sugar syrup. I would swap out the white wine for a white Australian vermouth I have in there, and I would swap out the Gentian for Ocar Gold. In fact, because that's quite a different one. Pisco, yeah, I think I'll make that one. I think I'll do, I'm not doing 2 shots of Navy rum tonight. No. I might try, and these are shaped, I might try and make a scaled down version to the same ratios, and so it should taste right. But I'm not doing 2 shots of overproof rum tonight. Ooh, Kirsten, your husband's watching WWE. Yes, PBR makes a good point. Is the WWE weird without the crowds? It must be. Yes. Right, I might try and make a scale down, but how scaled down? Goombay, fucking 2 shots of overproof rum. So if I cut that in half, it's still 1 shot. 1/4 shot of orange curacao. 1/4 shot of coconut rum. 1.5 shots pineapple juice. And just a splash of lime juice. I can do that. Finish my blood orange. Okay, I'm going to try and make a scaled down version of a Goombay smash to make sure it tastes nice. Oh, I forgot to rinse my bloody shaker out. I'll just quickly do that. Very poor form to not clean my shaker after using it. very poor bar etiquette, not cleaning my shaker. All right, so got a rinsed out shaker. I'm going to move this big glass out of the way. Right. Shaker at the ready. Hawthorne strainer at the ready. Jigger at the ready. Okay, got my overproof rum. Starting to work my way through that too. I had it for a few months. Okay. Goombay, overproof rum, orange curacao, rum liqueur, pineapple juice, lime juice. Okay. Okay. Back in here. Orange curacao. Oka Gold. No, wait, this is not the one with Oka Gold in it. Okay. Rum liqueur. Coconut. Coconut. And pineapple juice and lime juice, which is in the fridge. That's lime juice. Remember what's in what bottle in there. Oh, I put a bit of ice in here for shaking too. Put a glass in the freezer. I might put 2 glasses in the freezer. I can't find it. It's a little bit because we're only doing a half-size drink. Okay. Let's get this together. Right. We shall do. Ooh, that's serious stuff. 1 shot of the rum. Might even underpour that, actually. Should still give me a feel of how things are going to taste. All right, so. Remember, this is meant to be... Oh, no, I'll use this. That looks dirty under there. All right. Got to try and pour. Just. Ooh, just punched myself in the face. 1/4 shot of orange curacao. That's about right. And about the same of the coconut. Okay. Be careful with the pour. About that. Okay. Lots of pineapple juice. I wonder how much is left in this can. 3 shots. Okay. Oh, I had that much in here. Okay. Wasn't sure if there was that much of that pineapple juice left. And where's my lime juice? Just really a splash of lime juice. Okay. Now we'll see what this is like. I think it'll be good. Oh, yes. Lee, uni semester over. Same for my offspring. There are Aussies in WWE. Rhea Ripley and Buddy Murphy. Still, you don't like that as a wrestling name. Oh, dear. So, Timothy, did you know The Last of Us has its own day in the gaming community called Outbreak Day? Oh, okay, they've got an Outbreak Day. Cool. Right, I'll have to put that in the calendar. Do a Last of Us cocktail. Right. There's pineapple in there, it'll go a bit foamy. All right, slightly chilled glass. All right, taste test this one. All right. Yes, thought so. Pineapple's gone quite foamy. It's a good colour. Mainly pineapple coloured. So what colour it is on the website? Yeah. It's interesting. It's going to need a taller glass than this if I do a full-size one. There's quite a bit in it. Oh, yeah, because it's like 3 shots of pineapple juice. Yes, okay. I have to remember that. For make this, it's got to be in a taller glass. Oh, godly, that's a bit esoteric. 2 wrestlers named Lennon and Chapman, or Chapman beats Lennon, with a headshot. Man, no, that's good. It's like, as expected, like the overproof rum dominates this quite a bit. But it does actually have layers of flavor in there. Whew. Tell you what, you make a full one of those with 2 shots of overproof rum. You don't want to drink many of them. I'm just trying to work it out. Okay, because they're saying use a 55% alcohol volume. That's what they call Navy rum. The overproof rum I have is 69% alcohol. So 2 shots of that is more than 3 shots of normal rum. Then a half shot of triple sour rum. So that's broadly, that's 4 shots of alcohol. What percent's the rum liqueur? It's probably not much. Yeah. So making this drink full size according to this recipe is basically like drinking 4 shots of standard rum or gin or vodka. So to be taken with caution. It is actually really nice. Like it's got 2 dominating flavors, the rum and the pineapple. But all the stuff that's playing back up, the curacao, not so much the coconut, actually. I can't really taste coconut. But yeah, the other fruit flavors are under there. Yes, Rodney. I'm test running a drink later in the week, but a bit of a Monday evening piss up. Yeah, well, it is a pretty serious drink. It is. As soon as someone starts saying, "Hey, put 2 shots of overproof in that," it's like, okay. It's like, ooh. Because my overproof express, the shut the fuck up cocktail, where I just put all my overproofs in there. So that was, and I only put half a shot of each of them because there's so many of them, they're so strong. Half a shot of that plantation rum, half a shot of the Rittenhouse Rye, which is 50%, half a shot of Pusheen, which is like Irish moonshine, 50-something%, half a shot of the Navy gin, which is, I think, 58%. And then, the rum, which is 69%. And topping it off, my absinthe, which is 80%. Charlie, there was a drink in Ash vs. Evil Dead called the Pink Fuck, but you think it had ketamine in it. Okay, I'm probably not going to make cocktails with ketamine in it, Never say never, I guess, but I am not planning on making any cocktails with ketamine in it. PBR, is there anything on the shelves at Dan Murphy's? I have only bought about 30 bottles. And in my defense, 6 of them are sample bottles that are only this big. So, but I've only bought about 30 bottles of booze this year that I've been keeping track of in my spreadsheet. And I've only finished one of them, which was vermouth, which supposedly has a limited shelf life anyway. So, see, this is what you'd expect from when someone says, I'm going to make a pineapple drink, you expect it to be very fruity and have rum in it. And that's what that one is. Okay, Lee, you're a fan of the Bushmills Black Bush, which is Irish whiskey, I assume. I think that's what Bushmills make, an Irish whiskey. Is it high proof, or is it just like, standards about standards about 40% for Irish whiskey? Peter, Kate Tempest had a song called Ketamine for Breakfast. Whenever I think of ketamine, I always think of a line from the movie Armageddon, the old Bruce Willis movie, I should say, when all the team are being tested, they're having medical tests to see if they're fit to go in space. And one of the doctors saying to the head of NASA that he's very, very concerned. And it's about, I guess, one of them tested positive for ketamine. It's a very powerful sedative. And just like Billy Bob Thornton goes, lots of people take sedatives. And the doctor goes, it's a sedative for horses. Catherine, you only finished one bottle. Would that be the vodka that you finished the other night? Hey, Justin, how you doing? Ooh, Stella, you wanted to visit the Bushmills distillery. I'm spewing I didn't visit Ireland last time I was in England. I really wanted to. The circumstances didn't really allow it. Justin, what do I think of the TikTok prank played on Trump? It's funny. The bloody K-pop stans. Although it's important to understand what actually happened. I think some people think the reason there was a low turnout at the Trump rally is because the TikTokers got together and booked the free tickets for the show. So there was like 1 million of these tickets reserved for a venue that could only hold about 20,000 people. Only like 7,000 or 8,000 people actually showed up to it. Like Trump thought it was going to be a huge crowd because most of his rallies up to this point have been fucking huge, packed out crowds with overflows into the car park. And they had a plan for him to also talk to the people in the overflow in the car park. But there was no overflow and the stadium was only half full. So the K-pop prank did not stop people from going. What stopped people from going is a surprising display of intelligence, namely that going to an event like that closely packed with no masks is fucking ridiculous and almost guarantee of getting the Rona. So Trump supporters displayed a level of intelligence that I did not expect. So probably well under a quarter of the number of people that you would expect to go to this event went. Now, because the TikTokers sort of bombed the Trump site with ticket requests, they had like 1 million requests. They were talking it up. The Trump people were talking it up about how many people wanted to go. And then they looked super stupid that there was like only 6,000 or 7,000 people in there. But again, the TikTokers didn't keep the crowds away. Surprising display of common sense kept the crowds away. But what the TikTokers do have absolutely swamped Trump's database with about 1 million fake records, which is really, really making Trump's life hard. It's completely fucked up their mailing database because they've got like 1 million fake records in there now. Look, yeah, you're worried about going back to work when you're in a state with no cases, but Rodney, do I think Trump supporters didn't show up because of the virus? I think some people who had been supporting Trump might be over him, but I think the major reason for people not showing up was the virus. Even a significant chunk of Trump supporters went, "Oh, no, going to that really crowded venue with no mask is a super fucking stupid idea." I really did not think that they had that level of common sense. I was surprised. So, yeah, there's a little surprise looks. Okay, now I want to try and make a version of Susie. And because it's going to be quite different, I think I get to rename it. So it's going to be Ozified. So we got to think of a name for this one. They call it a Susie for some reason. Created in August 2015 by Simon Difford at the Cabinet Room, London. Okay. Not sure why it's called a Susie. Maybe it was someone he was trying to hit on. All right. So their recipe is Peruvian pisco, gentian liqueur, pineapple juice, white wine, and sugar syrup. Whereas I'm going to do pisco, Ocar Gold, an Australian herbal liqueur, pineapple juice, and an Australian white vermouth, which is a fortified wine or an aromatized wine. Kirsten, call it a Sharon. Oh my god. Yes, Peter, a Shazza. Oh, we've got Shazzas and Sharons from. Okay, big ups to Mega Leech, Pete, and Kirsten for the Shaz, the Sharon. Oh dear, that is clearly what it has to be. Okay, the Shazza. Go from the Susie to the Shazza. Yes. Oh, I knew you people would come through. All right, I put this stuff back because I don't need any of this. All right, you can go back there. All right. So I want the Ocar Gold. I want the Pisco. I like a little monster on the Pisco label. I like that. And sugar syrup. What am I after? Regal Rogue. And where did I put? I don't think which sugar syrup to use. This one? Oh yeah, for a laugh, I'm going to use this sugar syrup. My my oleosaccharum. Okay, I should rinse this shaker for a start. Is this a shaken one or a stirred one? Shaken. All right. All right, because it's got pineapple juice. Of course, you're going to shake it. All right, so I get rid of this glass, get it safely out of the way so I don't break it with any luck. Ooh, and I'm just going to rinse my jigger as well. Which again, I assert Should be bartender slang for having a quickie. Just going to rinse my jigger. A bad person. Right. Yes. Okay. I've got everything I need here. And again, I'm going to do a half size one. Because I don't want to get shit faced. A little bit of ice because let me do a half size one. Okay, so instead of 1.5 shots, I'm going to do 3/4 of a shot of Pisco at the disco. Panic at the Pisco. Should be using my other jigger. It would be easier to measure these small amounts. It's got smaller measurements on it. Just a 1 second. That's the reason I have this one. Where is it? All right. The Pisco, a third of a shot of Gentian. God, so that's barely a splash. What's the about 5 mils. Okay. Put 5 mils of the Oka Gold. Where'd it go? Yeah, about that much Oka Gold. Just the tiniest amount. And a half shot, so 1/4 of a shot. Oh, where did I put it? Right here. Okay. It's going to make that not much of a pop. Okay. Half shot, so 1/4 of a shot, 1/4 of an ounce. There we go. A little bit more, just a little bit. There we go. The vermouth. 3/4 of an ounce of pineapple juice. With the last of this pineapple juice, maybe. You know what? That's enough. Not going to open another can just for that. For a laugh, I could put a bit of blood orange in there. I won't. I'll just do this. I'll underpour with the pineapple juice and just a tiny bit of sugar syrup. That much. That much sugar syrup. All right. So now shake the shazza. Speaking of slang that should be for bartender staffing quickie, going to shake the shazza. PBR. Good barman knows how to free pour. First, I'm not a good barman. Not any sort of a barman. Never worked in a bar. Second, these are just such tiny amounts. Oh, yes, Kirsten, I know bartenders have plenty of slang. Jesus. Okay, almost just poured it back into the jigger. Come on, Earth to Moon base. Get my chilled glass. All right. Pour that into the glass. This is a bit more restrained volume-wise than the last one. Nice color again. Although the glass is, because there's less volume in there, it hasn't sort of unfrosted the glass yet. But yes, quite a nice color. Oh, that's good. That's just really smooth. Like the last one, it was like, bam, punched in the mouth by overproof rum. I was almost going to say overproof gin. That'd be another thing. Oh my God, this is a good drink, though. The Shazza gets a thumbs up. Oh my God, that's good. No, that is really good. Like the other one, if you like rum, the other one's definitely your thing. Uh, damn, that's good. Oh God, that is really good. Okay, we see PBO who knocked off Epstein, Clinton or Trump or both. I think it's hilarious that people think the Clintons have that much trouble. I think most of the people who talk about Clintons murdering people are just shit talking, but there's obviously the loons who think it for real. And I just think, honestly, you actually think the Clintons have that much power? Do I think Epstein could have incriminated Bill Clinton? Oh, absolutely. Um, I think Trump is a more likely one, but I don't think it was Trump either. Look, again, I've gone over this before. What happened to Epstein? Did Epstein kill himself or did someone else kill him? I think it's at least three quarters. Like, I think it's at least 70, 75% likely Epstein did actually kill himself. But mind you, 20, 30% chance he didn't kill himself is way too high. But I think it's most likely he did kill himself. But I think it's also most likely there was some level of conspiracy in putting him in a situation where it was possible for him to kill himself, because there is no way it should have been possible for Epstein to kill himself. That should not have been possible. I think it's, like I said, I think it's, at least 70% likely he did actually kill himself, but I think it's also at least 70% likely there was some level of conspiracy involved in creating the situation where Epstein could kill himself, because that should not have been allowed, should not have been possible. I don't think it was Trump, but there were so many rich, influential people who were going to get burned by Epstein testifying in court. The list of people who wanted him dead is very, very long. And I think there is a very strong possibility that one of these rich, powerful people was involved in some very underhanded activity to create the situation where Epstein was unsupervised in his cell and could kill himself. I think it's very, very, very unlikely that there was no level of conspiracy at all. Oh yeah, musical elevator. The Roman thing of the soldiers falling on their sword. There was a thing, the ruling class in Rome, if they were, discredited, disgraced, and going to be put away, I think the phrase was, became known as a Roman bath. You basically made known, hey, if we have to come and arrest you, we will, and you'll either be executed or die imprisoned, and your family will be discredited and all your wealth and estate will go away and your family will be sold into slavery or something. Or if you were to just be dead, we'd leave your family alone. And the idea is, they'd get in their hot bath and open a vein and go out that way. So that was traditionally a thing that, powerful people were given the option. You can either off yourself or we'll do the offing and we'll take your family as well. So, I have a strong suspicion that there was something like that with Epstein. The fact that he was given the opportunity to do it, because it's kind of like, dude, no, we will get you, and it would be really bad if we get you. If you get yourself, it will be less bad. Yeah, you get to choose what happens. So, Yeah, I think it's very likely there was some level of conspiracy in creating the circumstance where it was possible for Epstein to kill himself, because it shouldn't have been possible. He was like the single highest profile prisoner in America, and there'd already been something. It was either violence inflicted on him or self-inflicted violence. So he should have been under constant watch, and he wasn't. And that is either incompetence to the absolute worst degree imaginable, which is possible because the American prison system is very, 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 very bad. So it's possible that it was incompetence. It's possible. It's not very likely, but it's possible. It's much more likely that there was some level of conspiracy involved. But again, I think he did actually do the act himself, but he shouldn't have been able to. I think the circumstances that made him able to do it was a conspiracy. I like that, Megalich. Incompetence to the Trump degree. That's incompetent. That is the biggest incompetence possible. Oh, Stella, yes, the operative in Serenity. That's the guy who broke people's spine, so they were paralyzed, and they did literally fall on a sword. Yes. It's yes. Yeah, Lee, it is true. Their prison system's as bad as their health system. Possibly worse, possibly deliberately. Oh, you know what? I am going to have one more thing to drink. I'm going to put a glass in the freezer while I think of that. Put a Nick and Nora in the freezer. Because I did make another milk clarified drink on the live stream last night. And I haven't tasted it yet, not properly. And I filtered it like 3 times, and it's almost crystal clear. It's got a very light green color from the green chartreuse. Oh, fucking hell, that's good. I'm definitely doing that one. So for Pineapple Day, I'm definitely doing a Shazza, the Australian version of the Susie. Was there another one that was in the running? Okay, the one I've got the milk clarified version of in the fridge is Espanol version of the last word, the Ultima Palabra, because it has mezcal. Mezcal, green chartreuse, maraschino, pineapple juice, and lime juice. USB is a good name for a nerd drink. Cognac, white wine, pineapple juice. I could Aussify that as well. Use my new Australian brandy and the Regal Rogue Lively White again. I love, God, the blurb on the label is just the best. It's made from 100% Australian wine and native Australian aromatics, like lemon myrtle, desert lime, and native thyme. But they say fearlessly handcrafted, leading the charge in the vermouth renaissance. Regal Rogue is a new world discovery that celebrates the spirited adventurer in us all. With a flirtatious liaison of native Australian aromatics marrying a lively citrus and subtle floral character with Semillon grape, Regal Rogue brings bountiful merriment to all manner of soirees. The ideal aperitif or shared pitcher, a lavish serve poured over ice, chaperoned by tonic, and garnished with grapefruit and a sprig of rosemary. Or, in this drink, the Shazza, which is really fucking good. A USB, a brandy and that, and pineapple and sugar syrup, a relatively dry cocktail. where the vanilla combines beautifully with the cognac and the acidity of the wine balances the sweetness of the pineapple juice. Or a very French martini, cognac, raspberry liqueur, and pineapple juice. I could do that. Swap out raspberry for black. Oh, well, see, I could do that. Just the Australian brandy, the Australian blackberry liqueur, and pineapple juice, and come up with just a completely different name for it. When the smoke cleared, mezcal, red aperitivo, sugar syrup, lime juice, and pineapple juice. That sort of seems topical for our bushfires over summer when we're all choking on smoke. 1.5 shots mezcal, half a shot of Aperol. Or again, I could ossify it, and I've got Aperol. I'd probably just use Aperol actually. Ginger syrup. Okay, I don't have ginger syrup, and I don't really like ginger as a flavor. Lime juice and pineapple juice. No, I think maybe I'll do the Gumbai Smash, which is just the really fucking serious 2 shots of overproof rum, and the Aussie version of the Susie, the Shazza, because the Shazza is fucking great. It's really good. Oh, holy shit, that's good. Okay, that's like dangerously good. Like I think I've said before, my ratings of things. Miggly's call another Aussie one the dongle. Oh yes, for USB, of course. Oh, dude, nicely done. Nicely done. Call the Aussified USB the dongle. Yeah. Good. And they were just like Aussify it a bit more. I do want to highlight maybe I will do the USB. Maybe because I'll make this video on Wednesday and like edit it on Thursday and either put it up Thursday night or Friday morning. I don't want to mix another cocktail tonight. Maybe I'll do a trial run of making a dongle tomorrow night and see what it's like. Yes, I agree, PBR. The dongle kind of sounds like a Hoax character. Oh my God. The Shazza is really good. It's like dangerously good. Like I think I've said before, my ratings for cocktails is like 6 out of 10 is okay. 7 out of 10 is good. 8 out of 10 is good. I would definitely have this again. And 9 out of 10 is I want another one of those now. I'm calling it now. I'm going to make a full-sized one probably on Wednesday night. But I reckon the Shazza might get a 9.5. Yeah, it's at least a 9. The Shazza is at least a 9. The Gumbai Smash, 7, 7.5. Like it's good. It's definitely good. I don't regret making it. If you are really into rum, you'd probably rate it higher. But my initial rating of the Gumbai Smash is about a 7 to a 7.5. So it's good. But it's not going on my list of must-haves. But the Shazza, at least a 9. I'll reserve my final judgment until I make a full-sized one, probably on Wednesday night. But it might be a 9.5, which is like I want another one now. I definitely want another one now. It's dangerous. It's dangerously good. And yes, when I say dangerously good, I mean I think I want some more of it right now, which is not something I should really be thinking of. Yeah, well, again, Miguelich, as I've always said, Sidecar and Whiskey Sour are my favorites. They're both 9s. Sidecar is a 9. A good whiskey sour is a 9.5. So at this point, the Shaz is challenging. The Shazza is challenging. It's at least a 9. I have rated quite a few cocktails a 9 because there are just a lot of good cocktails out there. The Shazza is threatening to be a 9.5. I'm going to reserve a final score until I do a full-size one, probably on Wednesday night. So PBR streamed out for one day. Oh my God, this is your third stream for the day. This is only my second stream for the day. Watched one and now doing one. I've only got about 20 minutes to go. Anyway, thanks for dropping by, man. Good to see you. Yep, the Shazza is threatening to be a 9.5. It's really sweet. Like sometimes, like sweet ones are kind of seductive. Then I go like, I don't want something too sweet, but Jesus, I don't know, this is pretty good. This is the thing. Now I found out that acidic things give Mrs. Angry heartburn. She maybe couldn't do this. I don't know if pineapple juice is fairly acidic. So this might not be one for Mrs. Angry either, but a Goombay smash. It has lime. Yeah, pineapple drinks, I think, are not for Mrs. Angry. Give her heartburn. All right. I put this glass somewhere safe so I don't break it again. Because I do want to just have a taste of the one I milk clarified. Did like 3 filtrations of it. So this one was one I found on this list of pineapple cocktails on the Difford's website. This one's the Espanol version of the last word, the Ultima Palabra. So this is mezcal, green chartreuse, maraschino liqueur, pineapple juice, and lime juice. So you can see it's almost clear. What's it look like on the screen, which normally gives a weird false thing? Oh, it looks a little bit yellow on the screen. In real life, it's the color of white wine. It's almost clear. It's got a very slight coloration. And the slight coloration would come from the green chartreuse. So this is like very herbal, very smoky. I'm just going to have a little bit of this because I want to taste it properly. So this is a riff on the last word, which is a pretty famous cocktail. But done with mezcal, green chartreuse, maraschino, pineapple juice, and lime juice. So traditionally, the last word is gin and chartreuse and maraschino and lime juice. So this is a slightly south of the border version with smoky mezcal and pineapple juice added to it. Oh, see, that's good. This is really different, and this is what I like about cocktails: being able to do stuff that's really different. Because this one's got the layers. This one I appreciate because it has layers. You know, first thing you notice is the mezcal, the smokiness of the mezcal. Not familiar with mezcal, it's tequila's smokier cousin. It's another agave spirit. If you think tequila's smoky, try mezcal. Mezcal is like ashtray smoky, but in a good way. So I should say something more favorable than ashtray. Like it's like really good smoked meat. It's the same base as tequila, the agave plant, but it's much smokier than tequila. So the first thing you get is smoky because it's that fairly dominant flavor. But the second thing you get, the green chartreuse is a very herbal liqueur. So it goes smoky, and then you get the herbs, and then I'm tasting like the tartness of the lime because it's got lime juice in it. So also got pineapple. I think the pineapple's just balancing things. Like it doesn't taste sweet. It does not taste sweet. There's probably a slightly bitter edge coming from the green chartreuse and the lime combining. I'm not really tasting. The maraschino is a cherry liqueur. I'm not tasting cherries at all. It's probably under there, balancing some of the stuff. But the big flavor fight goes smoky, herbal, and lime, which is funny because pineapple juice is a really strong flavor. So I imagine without the pineapple juice, this would probably taste quite bitter. It's almost like the sweetness from the pineapple juice is hidden, but if the pineapple juice wasn't there, this would probably be really bitter. And also the maraschino liqueur is fairly sweet. So yeah, it doesn't need, like, you can go, I should put some sugar syrup in. It doesn't need it. Because it's good to have the occasional cocktail that's not really sweet. Like I said, I was fucking in love with the Shaza, and it's because it's sweet. It is really sweet, but it's got these beautiful flavors going on. This one has, just really cascading flavors going through it. But although there's sweetness in there from the pineapple and the maraschino liqueur, it doesn't taste sweet at all. It goes smoky, herbal, tart, and there's probably just a tiny bitter aftertaste. And I feel like that's the lime and the chartreuse combining to just leave that sort of late taste. But yeah, I imagine, although I'm going, I cannot taste pineapple. I can't taste maraschino. But I think if they weren't in here, it would be a less pleasant drink to drink. Because again, it's one of the classic cocktail combinations is spirit, liqueur, and citrus, or a sweetener. And so this has mezcal as the spirit, chartreuse as the liqueur, and the maraschino and pineapple as the citrus sweetener. And it's got lime as a citrus as well. So it's got 4 profiles happening: the smoky mezcal, the herbal chartreuse, the sweet pineapple, sweet maraschino, and the tart lime. Really quite the combination. And it's very cute that when I've done the milk clarification, it's almost completely clear. I did taste it, like just a sip, maybe 2 sips, when I made it last night on the live stream before I started the clarification process. And it was very green because the chartreuse is quite green. And of course, your pineapple juice is quite yellow. So it was a very yellowy green color before the clarification, but it's almost completely clear after the clarification, which again, I think visually makes for a nice drink when I've got this drink in it. It's just completely clear, but it's got some really quite complex flavors going on in there. It's all happening, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I think I have to say, as good as this is, maybe I'll put the 3 in. Like I won't. I don't know. Don't know whether to put because obviously I make the cocktails in the video, and the milk clarified version of the Ultima Palabra is pre-made. I could just pour it and say, "This is this one." Maybe I'll save for another video where I'll actually make it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll make a decision by Wednesday, but I'm definitely doing the Aussie version of the Susie, the Shazza. Sweet. And the Goombay Smash, very, very rum forward. 2 shots of overproof rum. I don't know if the triple sec even gets a. I think I could taste the. Well, I'm not using triple sec. I'm using orange curacao, which is a bit drier than triple sec. Triple sec's a bit sugary, whereas this Marionette Aussie curacao actually tastes like real orange rather than sweet orange flavor. You can probably just come through. Yeah, no, I think I'll do Goombay Smash and the Shazza because they're very different. They're very different. And different I enjoy. I enjoy different. Yeah. Sometimes I like the same. Who knows? But different is good. I like it's probably why I got into cocktails, because once you develop a taste for them, they get very different. Ooh, the US is up to 120,000 dead. That's really depressing, isn't it? The world's up to 9 million cases. Okay, the US is getting to be a slightly less percentage of it. Not slightly, it's much less. So the rest of the world is catching up. Fucking Brazil. So as I predicted, Brazil was going to be a fucking disaster. And they're probably really underreporting as it is, 1 million cases and 50,000 deaths. They're probably underreporting both cases and deaths to an astronomical degree. I should not finish on a depressing note. Oh no, Stella, you missed saying goodnight to PBR. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know you're out. Lee, no. Well, I'm about to go to bed. It's too late to bring extra people into the chat. I like making a party of live chats, so that's why Friday and Saturday night particularly appeal to me. Yes, Nintendo Lunchbox. Trump was really angry at his shitty rally, which is, of course, funny as hell. Well, Stella, hopefully you notice I didn't comment, Stella, and you and PPR were doing the flirting thing. I just let you go. It's your thing. I let you do it. We're all adults here. We can do it. Do it. Okay. I had a couple of drinks tonight. I was trying to make them half strength, but clearly doing a half strength thing that actually has fucking overproof rum in it is actually quite a strong drink. You know, it's not like I'm legless, but I definitely don't want to drive a car or operate heavy machinery right now. That would be a bad thing. But what I do want to do would be go to bed. That seems like an eminently reasonable thing for me to be preparing for. Ooh, geez, I'm looking at those things here in Victoria that we be getting staring down the barrel of some lockdowns in Melbourne, particularly of the specific suburbs where there were outbreaks. So it says in Australia's top medical officials are urging a lockdown. 6 local government areas in Melbourne identified as coronavirus hotspots as Victoria experiences an alarming surge in COVID-19 cases. So all the chief medical officers strongly discourage travel to and from Hume, Casey, Brimbank, Moreland, Cardinia, and Darebin, which I don't live in, but that's fucking half of Melbourne. I don't know. Move comes as Victoria Police announced it would ramp up patrols of coronavirus hotspots, impose tougher enforcement of restrictions as fears of second waves continue to grow. People are going to get busted for having large gatherings like parties in their house because that was the restriction that got tightened. People are going to get busted for having parties at their house. Holidaymakers have been warned against congregating in large groups, traveling with other families, amid an alarming surge in coronavirus cases. Still, I just find it mildly humorous that we regard like, oh no, there were 10 new cases, there were 20 new cases as an alarming surge. Like I said, when the US continues to have hundreds of people dying a day. But anyway. Yeah, like I probably have to go in. I have to go into the office in the city at least one day this week. I got some masks from Costco. I will be wearing if I go public transport, which I almost certainly will, I'll be wearing a mask on public transport. Oh, Kirsten, you got out of going to work and a social engagement because of the Rona. So those are things you wanted to get out of by the sounds of that. Ooh, music elevator friend invited you to fly in a light plane to Mount Hotham. Look, you just want to lock down sunshine. Sorry, I just missed the whole thing about naughty Stella in the chat. Okay, I won't touch that. Oh yeah, Stella, everyone has an OnlyFans now. Get an OnlyFans. Ooh, League followed by Scientologists around Rundle Mall. Scientologists will do that. Luke sells big issue in Rundle Mall. So it's good. That's a much more fun note to end on. Talk about everyone should have an OnlyFans account. Because there's always someone who wants to see you naked. Nudes and lewds. Lewds and nudes. So that's like a millennial or possibly a Zoomer thing. I'm trying to understand which one's the more graphic. I think lewd is a little bit naughty, like, maybe wearing a bikini or underwear, and nude is nude. I think lewd is not nude. I don't think lewd is worse than nude. I think nude is nude and lewd is you're still wearing clothes, but being a bit saucy. Oh, I'm an old man. I don't understand anything. I am so old. Oh, Stella, you've heard OnlyFans is a ripoff. Again, I know nothing. I just see people referencing it all the time. So I'd had the possibly quite mistaken impression that OnlyFans is treated people reasonably well. Could easily be wrong. Kirsten, you had a 1M zoodle on the weekend. See, I don't know what that means. I have no. Is that like 1 million views on something that's called zoodle? Or did you mean 1 meter? A zoodle that's 1 meter? I am old and don't understand things. Zoodle is not something that's familiar to me. But you know what? I'm on the internet. So if I look up zoodles, zucchini noodles. So am I right in guessing you used one of those things to make a noodle out of a zucchini and you managed to make a single strand of zucchini noodle that was 1 meter long? If that's what you're saying, I'm impressed. Stella, you've heard that OnlyFans rip off creators, but you haven't researched it yet. Oh, no, Lee, you told us about the Hindley Street McDonald's strawberry milkshake. That's a bloody nose from getting punched in the face. Okay. Just before we go, I now feel compelled to research. Is OnlyFans rip off? Can you trust OnlyFans? Safe leopard? Can you get scammed? Is OnlyFans? Can OnlyFans see if you screenshot? OnlyFans does not allow screenshots. Sex workers only on Reddit says avoid OnlyFans. Is this going to be a closed group? Just to, when does this come from? 1 year ago, so might not be relevant. Considering opening an OnlyFans, my friend's getting scammed by the site. They're withholding money, keeping a big chunk of it themselves. Recommend doing a premium Snapchat, Twitter instead. Don't fall for the scam. That's from a year ago, might be out of date. Oh, of course, OnlyFans has a Wikipedia interest. Content subscription. Doesn't have to be adult entertainment. OnlyFans launched in 2016. In May 2020, CEO said the site's seeing about 200,000 new users every 24 hours, 7,000 to 8,000 new creators joining every day. I need, something where people say, all right, it does. Shit. Stay there. Does OnlyFans rip off creators? This is the last search we need to. Is OnlyFans safe for creators? I tried OnlyFans for a month and made money. Is OnlyFans safe for creators? OnlyFans can sound appealing, doesn't have a lot of risks. OnlyFans creator pushback against criticism. Is OnlyFans deleting sex workers? Day in the life of a topless creator. OnlyFans review. Not seeing anything definitive. Oh, well, give to me one of the Ashley Madison hackers who shut it down. The Ashley Madison hack was hilarious because there were two funny things about the Ashley Madison hack. For those who don't know what the site Ashley Madison was, it was a site that's basically saying have an affair here. It was trying to entice married men to have affairs. That was the explicit model. They said have an affair. And the Ashley Madison hack, which made public the accounts that people had on it, was funny on two levels. One is it outed all these guys who'd had an account with the intention of having an affair on Ashley Madison. But two, it showed the overwhelming number of women on the site were fake, that there was actually just trying to milk horny guys for money. It wasn't genuinely women who were going, yeah, I'll have an affair with him. And the majority of the women who were actually going to meet up with a guy were sex workers who were going to do it for money. Nothing wrong with that, consensual arrangement. But Ashley Madison basically promoted itself as, hey, guys, just come on here and have an affair, which you couldn't really do on the site. You could pay to have a hookup with a sex worker, but, why go to a site like Ashley Madison for that? Why not just go through a reputable escort service for that? The Ashley Madison hack was funny on two levels, that it outed the guys who were trying to have affairs, and it also showed the site was actually a scam. The women on that weren't genuinely looking to have an affair with someone. They were looking for a monetary transaction, which is fine if you're open and upfront about it, but that's not how the site marketed itself. So yeah, that's funny. I've never tried a Mega Luke, and I don't think I ever will, for the guys whacking off on it. It's like a bit too much. But yes, there you go. Okay, I'm going to have to ask. This is going to be weird, because I do know people who have OnlyFans accounts. And if I message them and just say, hey, can you just tell me on the download, do you feel like OnlyFans rips you off, or OnlyFans is fair to you, or is it a spectrum? I wonder if that will come across as weird. Probably not going to come across as the weirdest thing I've ever done, quite honestly. Yes. So yeah, okay. Just for no other reason than we were having a discussion about it. I could actually ask a couple of people, because I do know a couple of people that I'm quite friendly with who have OnlyFans accounts, and say, how would you rate it as in terms of fairness to creators? Is it good, bad, indifferent? Not saying anyone does or doesn't want to have an OnlyFans, but now we've started the conversation. Now I want to know. And considering I do know some people with OnlyFans accounts, I feel like I want to ask them. Yes, this is my OnlyFans, Luke. This is the closest I come to an OnlyFans, and lucky for you, it's free. Yes. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. It's getting weird. It's getting weird, and I like weird as much as anyone. But I am going to go to bed. Monday night, I probably had a little bit more drinkies than I intended, but I needed to test drive those things. But I think I've decided on Wednesday I will do the 2 cocktails with the pineapple in them, and see what it's like. Yeah, we're always up for weird. We're always up for weird here. But yeah, no, I think I will. I'll ask a couple of friends how they rank OnlyFans, and take it from there. Take care, one and all. Look after yourselves. I hope to see you again soon. Off to Sleepy Bobos. I hope you have a good time wherever you are. I hope to see you again soon. But